Huge boost coming in for Ugarte yet again. Manchester United had an emergency meeting on Monday to discuss their plans going forward, and the focus is on midfield. At least one midfield signing, if a sale happens, two midfield signings, and reportedly Napoli reps are in England right now trying to get a move from McTominay ahead in these next 24 hours. George Mendes is on his way to Manchester to try and get the Ugarte deal done. What is the latest on that? United are still having conversations with Sander Berge. If McTominay goes, maybe they're going to make a move for both Berge and Ugarte. United have strong confidence they're going to sign Ugarte. Updates on the new left back in United's plan. There's two signings they want to bring in regardless of sales, and a couple other targets they have planned depending on sales. The Ligt and mazraoui are reportedly set to start versus Fulham tomorrow. Man United have big plans for Xerxes and Højlund. There's some other exits planned and more. So hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to your 10-minute Manchester United news transfer roundup, where I round up all the latest Manchester United news that's come in the last few hours and some of the relevant news we discussed earlier today in my live shows into a 10-minute video, so you guys are just up to date on all the Man United news within 10 minutes. So, rounding up some earlier news, Manchester United's top officials met up on Monday to discuss a strategy for the remainder of the window, and midfield priority is the focus between now and deadline day, with Manuel Ugarte still top of the list, and PSG and United are in active negotiations for Manuel Ugarte. We're in active negotiations right now for Manuel Ugarte. We had a big meeting on Monday, Ineos, Ashworth and co, basically saying midfield is the priority. Ugarte, no matter what happens, is the next priority. Fabrizio Romano himself has even confirmed that United's focus is on getting Ugarte. That's why they sort of let Fofana go to AC Milan. We never strongly pursued that. The focus right now in United isn't left back, it isn't centre back, it is midfield, and it is particularly Manuel Ugarte, with Berge also there. Sky Sports have said just now PSG are under a bit of pressure to do a deal for Manuel Ugarte following the arrival of João Neves, and that Ugarte wants to join United. Romano has said just now that constant conversations and contact are ongoing between PSG and Manchester United for Manuel Ugarte. Contract and salary is ready. Ugarte pushing to join United. We know from Romano, we know from every basically credible source that Ugarte is pushing to join United. He's essentially forcing the move because he's not training with PSG. He's not involved in the squad. George Mendes is now working to get that deal to happen, and PSG have also told Ugarte they don't want him. So the fact that they don't want Ugarte, they've signed João Neves, he's pushing to join United, and that no club's actually willing to bid more than United for Ugarte anyway. It's not like there's clubs there bidding 50 million for Ugarte. There's not. He's rejected other clubs for United, and no one wants to pay 50 million for him. He's a 40 million player. PSG are in a bit of a weak position for Ugarte, and Romano did say that Fofana was never in negotiation with Man United. The club's focus is on Ugarte. United's backup options are Sander Berge and Amrabat. So I think Monaco were using United to get AC Milan to hurry up and make a bid. I think a lot of the reports that we were going in for Fofana, and that was close, I think it's because we went in from last summer and we stole Xerxes off AC Milan, so it just made sense for Monaco to brief journalists that we were interested in maybe Fofana to scare AC Milan into doing that deal, is what I think happened there as well. But obviously said that the focus is on Ugarte. The emergency meeting says the focus is on Ugarte. Everything is ready. It's just PSG lower the price. We agree a deal. Bish bash bosh, we get Ugarte. Berge is the backup, but we could do a deal for both. It was obviously said earlier today that PSG are willing to lower the price for Ugarte as the weeks go by, which means it's more likely to be done, and there's a growing belief an agreement could be reached for Ugarte. We also know from Romano that Manuel Ugarte is insisting on getting his move to United, as both clubs are still in talk and PSG keen on selling him. George Mendes is leaving negotiations. Ugarte is essentially forcing the move, and their agent George Mendes and George something are travelling to Manchester today to finalise the deal. Apparently there's emergency meetings planned for today and tomorrow in terms of the Ugarte and McTominay deal, so maybe we'll get a breakthrough, but who knows. I think this could drag on right to the end of the window because McTominay's got 1 year left on his contract, so teams know we want to sell him, so that could drag on to the deadline just to put teams in a stronger position. And with Ugarte, we let that go to the deadline. We know PSG are desperate to sell him, so it puts us in a stronger position. I don't know if we could get a breakthrough tomorrow, but who knows. Was also said in midfield that talks are still ongoing with Sander Berge, and Romano said that McTominay can only leave on a permanent transfer. Napoli have only offered loan deals. We've had 21 million, says Romano, and I think 23 million says Lucas for McTominay, pardon. And then I think we've had loan offers from Napoli for McTominay. We want £25 million. So we're not far off a deal from McTominay. I think teams are just trying to but I think as the competition is coming in from McTominay, I think we're more likely to get a bid that hits the mark. And, reports coming out today suggest McTominay could be open to leaving, with Padella saying that Scott McTominay is Conte's priority target at Napoli. In the next few hours, a new summit will take place with the player's agent, who has put other proposals on standby, which is interesting, which could suggest that he's told Fulham, no, I'm focused on Napoli. Napoli's what I want. Scott McTominay has given priority to Napoli, and Antonio Conte has asked the club to push and sign him. Napoli wants to add a thick midfielder, which means like thick skin, like McTominay to their squad. They need a proposal that convinces United. So Napoli apparently are now going all out on McTominay. He's now their priority midfield signing. Conte wants him. McTominay's had conversations with Napoli, now wants the move, not interested in Fulham. It just depends, because Napoli are trying to do a loan deal. We want a permanent move from McTominay. I think it just depends on what Napoli bid. If they sell Osimhen, potentially we've got more chance. If they sell players, we've got more chance of getting this deal done and over the line. Continuing on, it was obviously said earlier this week that Napoli sporting director Giovanni Manna is in London addressing several issues and aims to add a new name to the squad, and Napoli's thinking about McTominay, so he's also in England, potentially heading to Manchester to sort out that deal like George Mendes. So going into the defence, as we covered earlier in my live show today, Man United were linked to 30. Apparently we made a bid for him. I obviously said in my live show today, take that with a massive pinch of salt. I don't believe it. I think we're being used to speed up Brighton. And Romano has now said that Manchester United never made an offer for 30 or Fenerbahce. The club is working on it with on it is Brighton. So Romano confirmed what we all thought. Obviously in my shows I cover all the United news, but I will tell you if I think the news is BS or not. And as I said in my live show earlier today, I said, you know what, this is a big story coming on 30, but I think it's BS, and Romano has confirmed it's BS. Now, what is United's focus? Romano said that United's focus right now is midfield, as we know, and no decision's been made on players regarding the left-back situation, but players that have been offered are Hermoso, Reguilon and Marcos Alonso. I think out of those names, Reguilon is probably the best option, or Hermoso, just because he can play at left centre-back as well. I'm really not a big fan of Marcos Alonso, if I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. It was also said by Dean Jones earlier today that Erik ten Hag is aiming to make 2 more significant signings after Ligt and mazraoui. United will maybe consider dipping into the market for a versatile attacker if Sancho heads for the exit door, with potential, if we sign Ugarte, that they may have the funds to sign Sancho. Sancho obviously wants the PSG move. Reports say that Sancho's actually agreed terms with PSG as well. And it said that although Man United want a wound mole over bringing in an out-and-out striker due to desperate to avoid a similar situation to last season when they had no striker. We have been linked to Ivan Toney, but I don't think we really need Ivan Toney. I think Xerxes and Højlund can do the job. Bruno and Mount can play there. Sancho could play there if need be, although we wouldn't bring in an attacker unless Sancho went, so probably not with that done. And it was also said that Erik ten Hag has confirmed that both Ligt and mazraoui will start versus will be in the squad versus Fulham tomorrow. Not start, but be in the squad versus Fulham tomorrow. I expect them both to start, particularly. I know Maguire's fit, but I think he might throw De Ligt next to Martinez over Maguire. I think one of the reasons that we signed De Ligt and mazraoui there and then is to have him first game of the season. I think with, Ligt not really doing a good job at left back. I mean, he might play Maguire and De Ligt at centre back, Ligt left back. But I think with Ligt looking at a place at left back, and obviously he was playing Man City, so it's a massive test. I think that we'll probably see mazraoui or Dalot play left back. In fact, I think it'll be Dalot left back, mazraoui right back to ease him in. And then De Ligt and Martinez at the back, I think, is actually what we'll see tomorrow. And I can't wait to see what we do. I'm really interested. And it was said in terms of attacking plans that Erik ten Hag has thought about playing 2 up top diamond formations. Xerxes can play on the wing, so he can play with Rasmus Højlund at some stage. But there is obviously plans of, we've been playing Mount and Bruno together as these false nines. Maybe with Ivan Toney being linked to us and not a winger, there's always been suggestions that United want to go for more number 9s, more false 9s, 2 false 9s that could play at top. And I do think we'll see Højlund and Xerxes play together in the same team. Xerxes can play out wide, but he doesn't really suit out wide. He's best as a number 9 or a number 10, or sort of, the player that's just behind the number 9. I think he could work well with Højlund, but I also think it gives us 2 options there, which is interesting to note on Erik ten Hag's plans. But guys, please do hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new and want to stay up to date on all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news and more. I hope the new show made sense. I think we could get some breakthrough on Ugarte. I think we could get a breakthrough on McTominay soon, but I also wouldn't be surprised if these deals dragged out to the wire. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Hit the like on the way out. Also, do subscribe if you're new, because as things stand, we are 12 subscribers away from 89.4k, so that would be amazing. The goal is 90k by the end of the transfer window. Anyway, see you next time.